गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः. Namaste friends, I'm Jaymini Sahai. I'm a Kathak dancer as well as an IT technical delivery manager. Before I begin my journey, I'd just like to take a moment to thank all those artists who've taken part in the My Journey and Me series. For me personally, it's been a source of motivation and inspiration during these trying, unprecedented times that we are living in. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for all your support in this series. So my Kathak journey began in 1983. I was a child full of energy, could never sit still, very active, had a lot of excess energy. And my mother thought, well, actually, what better way to channel that energy than by doing dance? My mother actually has always loved dance, and even as a child herself, used to participate in competitions at school, Ras Garba competitions. She did love classical dance, but the opportunity never presented itself to her. She never had the chance to learn. And she also had quite an orthodox upbringing, brought up by her grandparents in India. So she, always thought that later on in life, if she ever had a daughter, she would love her daughter or encourage her daughter to learn classical dance. So I came along, and that's exactly what my mother did. She encouraged. All credit goes to her for my dance journey. It started with her. Had it not been for her, I think I would be a very different person. There used to be a centre in the heart of Belgrade called the Belgrade Behno Centre. It was a standalone centre, a women's centre, various activities taking place from Hindi lessons, Gujarati lessons, Indian cookery lessons, and of course Kathak dance. So my mum took me there twice a week religiously. Each session was about an hour long, and that's where I've met my first Guruji, Nilima Devi ji. Nilima ji, or as we lovingly call Didi, was my first Guruji. Didi has seen me from the age of 6 all the way till now. She has been a source of inspiration throughout my life. She's been a mother figure to me whilst growing up, always presenting various opportunities to perform. It's fantastic because at such a young age I was exposed to performing. So regularly at the Abbey Park festival, not sure if that still happens, but 30, 40 years ago it was a regular. And we always had the opportunity to perform, whether that was Diwali, Diya dance. There was one particular occasion, one particular production we did with Didi called the Kaliya Daman. It was the story of Krishna and Kaliya, and how Kaliya is poisoning the waters of the river Yamuna. And Krishna knows this, and he is playing with his friends one day, and intentionally throws his golden ball into that water, jumps into the water, meets Kalia, has a battle with him, and asks him to leave the waters. And that story finishes with Krishna dancing on the head of Kalia. So we did this whole production, this whole story in Kathak, probably about 10 of us, and we were all quite young. We must have been between the ages of 8 and 13. We can't have been more than that. So that's just one example of something we'd done at a very, very early age. In 1992, I had the privilege of accompanying Didi as well as 4 other dancers to Ahmedabad in India to train under the legendary Kumudini Lakhiaji. We spent over a month in India. I think I was probably only 15 at the time, and clearly remember celebrating my 16th birthday there. And it was fantastic because we were dancing every single day. We would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We'd do a couple of hours of yoga in the morning. We'd go back to our hotel, freshen up, have some breakfast, get ready, and then go and train with her. And we were putting together a production called Indradhanush, which translates as the rainbow. And the whole production was based around humanity and the chaos that we experience in our lives before we are enlightened by understanding who the Supreme is. It was an amazing production. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about Kathak because it was just so intense, and I'd never really been exposed to that level of intensity. I was only 15 years old in India, training every single day. It was fantastic. We did that, we came back, and that production toured many, many locations in the UK. One particular performance of that I do remember very, very clearly was when Cambridge University opened up a Department of Hinduism, and we were asked to perform Indradhanush at the opening of the department. So for me, it's been nothing but a privilege, and I owe all of that to you, Didi. Very, very grateful. In 1993, I took part in a dance drama called Sampurna Ramayan. It's the story of Ramayan, the entire story of Ramayan, finishing with love and Kush. And initially, I took on the role in the classical team, so doing some of the classical dance with some of the other dancers, a little bit of a mixture of Kathak and Bharatanatyam. We worked with a choreographer from Mumbai, Shyambhai Mithaiwala, who unfortunately is no longer with us. It was a cast of about 60. I also took on the role as Kush, one of Ram and Sita's sons. Again, I must have only been about 16, 17 at the time. It toured for about 3-4 years, all over the UK. And then I was extremely fortunate because I then got the opportunity to take the role of Sita. So I took a step back from the classical pieces and focused on my role as Sita. And again, at 17 years old, it was nothing but a privilege for me to be doing something as spectacular as that. Back in 1994, I attended a dance and music summer school at the Breton Hall in Wakefield. It's an experience I will never ever forget. There were sessions in tabla, vocal, sitar, and of course Kathak. The Kathak teacher who was supposed to run the Kathak workshops could not get here from India in time. Can't quite remember what the reason was all these years on, but it did turn out that the legendary Pandit Sharda Sahai ji ran the Kathak sessions. It was a complete honour for me, and who would have known that years later I would become his daughter-in-law. So all this dancing was, happening alongside my studies. I was doing my GCSEs, completed my GCSEs, did my A-levels, completed my A-levels. And then in 1995, I went to study in Sheffield to do my degree. And at that time, Didi introduced me to Dr. Geeta Upadhyay, who I lovingly call as Amma. She was the former CEO of Kala Sangam, South Asian Arts Organisation based in Bradford. And Bradford's not too far from Sheffield. So I used to make regular trips to see Geetaji and with Kala Sangam alongside my university studies. I had so many opportunities to perform and teach and run workshops in a variety of settings, schools, other universities, women's centres, all kinds of things. So my dancing never ever stopped, even alongside my studies. It just always continued. You know, I found it difficult sometimes to balance alongside my studies, but I always somehow found a way. And because I was so passionate about my dance and so involved in my dance, I always found a way to make it work, even through the most intense of periods. In fact, I'm just so very, very grateful for everything, because having opportunities like that whilst you're away from home, Sheffield was a brand new city to me. I didn't know anybody, you know, you're making new friends, but to have a link with an organisation and to be able to kind of keep up that passion and keep doing what I enjoyed and what I love, just very, very grateful to have that. So dancing was continuing alongside work. I felt as though I needed to challenge myself in my dance. So I spoke to Didi and I did my Manch Pravesh in 2008. A Manch Pravesh is a Kathak dancer's debut solo performance. And I spent months with Didi selecting the pieces and really intensifying my riyaz and my training and my rehearsal. And in 2008 I did my Manch Pravesh, and for me it was just an amazing achievement. I felt as though I really had achieved and celebrated my years of learning with my guru. And it's at that point actually that I had met Sanju. I'd asked him to be my accompanist, and he very kindly agreed. And I'm so grateful to Rupa Panisar, Shomik Datta, Lisa Mallet for accompanying me on such a special day of my life, a day I will never ever forget. My Manch Pravesh was my debut as a soloist in the world of Kathak, and having such phenomenal artists by my side, I'm just truly grateful and blessed. So a very special thank you to all of you. In fact, I should probably highlight that I met Sanju the first time in 1995. We were both performing together at the Square Chapel for the Arts in Halifax. I wasn't performing to live music. I was dancing to pre-recorded music on a CD, and I found myself in the awful situation where my CD got stuck. And I'm dancing away and the music stops. And I remember Sanju actually afterwards telling me off, saying, I don't know why you dancers don't use tabla players and rely on recorded music. This is what happens. Something I will never ever forget, that experience. We laugh about it now to this day. Quite hilarious. So a little bit about my other thing that I love. I work as an IT technical delivery manager. I've had the good fortune of working in so many prestigious companies. I've done some work for Thomson Reuters. I've done some work for the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Defence, the Home Office. I've done some work in the banking sector, all in IT as a delivery consultant. I am currently working for Discovery Networks as a technical delivery manager. And I work with software development teams. So that includes developers, testers. I work with product owners, and together we build features. And at the moment, I'm working on building features for mobile apps. It is a demanding job. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. A lot of my job, a lot of my work is removing impediments so that my team can carry on and get their job done with as little noise as possible. And each day is different. Anything could come up. But my job is to keep my team motivated so that they consistently deliver and that they are consistently motivated and inspired to keep doing a fantastic job. And I enable them to do that. I do really thoroughly enjoy what I do. In terms of the future, I will always dance. There was a time in my life where dance had to take a little bit of a backseat. From 2011 to 2015, I was in a very, very dark place. I do feel it's necessary to share. I feel as though I can share now quite openly. Unfortunately, in these years, from 2011 to 2015, I suffered a number of miscarriages. And what that does to a person mentally, physically, and emotionally is very, very difficult to explain. I had always danced, it was always a passion. But during these times, I disconnected. I became somebody else. It is part of the journey. I had to find myself again. I had to bring that back. I didn't disconnect completely. I was still listening to music. I was still doing a little bit of teaching, but my headspace was not in dance. And that was okay for me, because for me, it's like a circle. You start, you go through stages, and then you end up somewhere else. So for me now, I feel as though I've kind of been through this storm. It's affected and touched so many parts of my life, dance included, work included. But I feel now I've come out the other end a much stronger person, stronger in my personality, stronger in my dance. I can feel, or I do feel, my emotions are very, very raw. If I am doing an expressional piece, I feel now I can relate more than ever to what it is that I'm doing. So for me personally, even though going through that awful, awful time in my life and my husband's life, we've definitely come out the other end as much stronger people. And I feel so totally blessed that I've been given my daughter, Sanjana, who will be 5 in February. And in terms of where the future's concerned, it is most definitely her. I will always dance. There's no doubt about that. And I feel as though I've made somewhat of a little bit of a comeback. I'm a wife, I am a mother, I am a dancer, I am a professional, but my time always is always dedicated to my daughter and her artistic practice. She is a blessed soul, she's a blessed individual. She sings, she dances, she can recite Gatha compositions. She's the biggest blessing I could ever ask for. So my future is her, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for her. Maybe one day we'll be dancing together, who knows? Time will tell. in 2010, Sanju and I were married. I moved from Leicester to London and tried to settle down, tried to get to know people. And I had decided that I wanted to continue my Kathak training with Guru Pratap Pawarji. I guess I was very, very lucky because he doesn't live too far from us, so it was very easy to go and spend a couple of hours with him whenever he had availability. So I continued my Kathak training, continued my Kathak journey with him. I had met Guruji in the past before. I'd undertaken various workshops with him when he travelled to Leicester. Also when he was running some workshops in Bradford when I was working with Kala Sangam at the time. Had the opportunity to spend some time with him and learn from him. And for me, it's just a blessing to be able to continue my journey with such a renowned guru based in the UK. Very, very grateful that I'm able to continue my journey under him. Every year on Guru Purnima, I make sure I see Guruji, I do his puja, I give my offering, and I seek his blessings to continue in my art form and to continue doing a good job. For me, I will always be an eternal student of dance. Even as I age, I think I would still always consider myself as an eternal student and servant of dance. Guru Puja is an extremely auspicious time for us. I have married into the Benares Gharana of Tabla, Sanju Sahai ji, and it's a legacy that started in 1780. The Tabla Benares Gharana was founded by Bade Sahai ji, Ram Sahai ji in 1780. And on Guru Puja, on Guru Purnima, we pay respects to our teachers who are no longer with us, our ancestors who continue to guide us. Even though they no longer exist physically in the physical form, we feel their presence around us all the time. So Guru Purnima for us is a huge thing. It's a massive event. On a yearly basis, we have over 100 people. We invite at home dance students, music students, family, friends, and the day starts with a puja to the living guru of Tabla Benares Tabla, Sanju ji. All the students do their puja, offer to him, seek his blessings, myself included. And after that, we have a meal at home. I spend the day before cooking for over 100 people. Some of the students come round in advance and help us prep. They help us get the house ready. The students help us get the room ready, hoovering, cleaning, cooking, prepping. It's such a fabulous experience. And then we finish the day off with a musical offering. So all the students, whatever their learning may be, offer a little something to their Guruji on the auspicious day of Guru Purnima. So for me, again, I always knew of Guru Purnima, but being in this family and being in such blessed surroundings has really made me understand Guru Purnima a lot more and actually what it really means. During these COVID times, the whole world finds themselves sat at home with limited opportunities to demonstrate our artistic practice. For me personally, it's given me an opportunity to go within and do some searching, some soul searching. For me, it's been an opportunity to reminisce about all those experiences that have come my way, that have been presented to me It's given me a chance to be grateful for everything that I have, everything that I've ever had, and everything that is about to come to me. It's a trip down memory lane for me, rethinking how it all started for me and where I want to go and where I will end up. Keeping with what most artists have spoken about in this series, time is always a challenge. Working full-time, it is a challenge to make the time. Additionally, the added role of wife and mother has its own set of responsibilities. I guess I've got better at my time management skills to ensure I get the time to practice and choreograph. I find I never have enough time, even when I do have it. So I try to do what I can when I can. This could be at 9 p.m. once Sanjana is asleep, or 5 a.m. before Sanjana wakes up. The balance with working and dance feels right to me at the moment. Financially, we feel stable, not having to worry about where the next penny will come from. In the future, this may change. Working from home for me during this pandemic has actually given me more time to focus on my dance and myself. How this will change, who knows? But for now, the setup works for me. I just want to thank everybody for their ongoing support. My husband, Sanju Sahai for his eternal support. Without him, none of this is possible. I wouldn't be able to achieve half of what I'm doing. He is my source of inspiration, as well as my gurus. My daughter is also a source of inspiration for me. There's times where we feel low in energy, low in our feeling, but just seeing her and her passion and her zest and her smiling face sometimes is enough to keep me going and keep me motivated. But I thank everybody for taking the time today to listen to my journey, listening to my experiences and giving me an opportunity to share with you all today. I will end by performing a short Kathak piece for you. The piece is called Damaru Harakara, and it is about Lord Shiva's Damaru and the sound it makes. I am so grateful to all the people that have made this happen. Of course, grateful to Sanju Sahai for being there as my accompanist. I am so grateful to Gurbaksh Singh Matharu, to Kirat Singh, to Debbie Priya Sarkar, to Anil Sandhu, all for joining me and agreeing to be part of this very special piece. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. I would like to thank all those individuals who have supported me, encouraged me and believed in me over the years. And finally, I would like to dedicate this performance to my father-in-law, the late, great Pandit Sharda Sahai, whose birthday it was on the 20th of November. Namaskar.
da 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 da